Craziest client stories. Is it too late for those non-disclosure agreements? Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Ronnie wanted to come and say hi. I am doing a Q&A. I was asking everyone over on my Instagram. Oh my gosh, there's gonna be dog hair everywhere now. Your questions you wanna know. So your burning questions about me, I have them all here, screenshotted from my phone, and we're just gonna get into it. So get a cup of tea, get comfortable. You gonna ask any questions? No? Okay, you can sit down. I feel like Ronnie's like stealing the limelight a little bit. Oh, here comes Pad now as well. Okay, first question. Will you ever come back to the UK and do you miss it? Yes, I miss it. I miss family and I love going back and being like a tourist in London and being in the UK, but I don't see us coming back. Who knows? Never say never, but I don't see us coming back just because it took a lot of work for us to get here. LA does feel like home. Okay, so next question is how it feels to live in LA after London. Like I said, I love London. It was my home for like, I think 12 years. But LA definitely feels that little bit calmer. I feel like there's definitely more space here. I'm not gonna lie, I love the outdoors living, outdoors life, and of course the weather. Like I'd be lying, wouldn't I, if I said the weather wasn't a big part of it. So yeah, I'd be lying if I said the weather didn't have a huge amount to do with it, because I definitely do love the weather here, and I just like the lifestyle. It definitely suits me where I'm at right now in my life. Next question, how much do you rely on social media as a creative in terms of getting jobs? This is a really good question. This is definitely something we touch on a lot over at Freelance with Freedom. If you're not following my Instagram, Freelance with Freedom, I'll put it somewhere. But I think social media, what it does do is it enables you to be your own agent. So it enables you to put yourself in situations where you can create opportunities. It enables you to build a really strong brand identity. And I'm very pro social media for those reasons. I think what I would say is it's not a case of relying on it. It's a case of seeing it as like a really helpful tool that you have control over. So for all the like crap people say about social media, I think when you have really loving boundaries around it and you feel empowered to use it in a way that works for you, then it becomes something that, again, it's not relying on it, it's more utilizing it in a way that you choose and have control over. So I hope that answers the question. And I love that all these questions are so different. Some are like really going there, we're getting spicy, and some are like, what's your favorite shampoo? So I'm gonna answer that one next. What is my favorite shampoo? Currently it is the Aesop equalizing shampoo. I have really difficult scalp. I feel like I actually get dandruff sometimes. I get like oily crown. I think the water is harder in LA. So I know when I moved to LA from the UK, my skin and my hair was a bit like, whoa, what's happening here? But yes, the Aesop equalizing shampoo I love. And then I have started using the Bumble and Bumble, the Sunday shampoo, like maybe, I think once a week, but my hairdresser was like, try and use it once every 2 weeks. Child-free ? Doggies forever ? I'm on Team Cat. That was what the person said. Yes, doggies forever. Doggies forever. I don't want kids. And I think this is something that I feel very empowered about because, let me put it this way, the thing that's the most frustrating as someone who doesn't want children is the feeling of having to do the disclaimer. Like I'm so bored of the disclaimer of like, but I don't hate kids. I still love kids. Like I love my friends' kids. And like, that gets really tedious, feeling like you're always explaining your choices. And again, I don't mind that the question was asked like for context, but yes, I think when I had dogs, that definitely like solidified like, yep, this is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. My dogs are my life. I love them. Yeah, I feel really happy and at peace with the decision that children, in terms of me and my partner having them, it's not for us. So yeah, that answers that question. What motivates you? This was a question which I thought was quite interesting. What motivates me? My movement with Freelance for Freedom motivates me a lot. Like I said, I have a lot of, what pushes me a lot is the idea that every creative can be an artist and a business owner. They can be both a CEO and a creative. I'm very like I get very driven by people saying certain things can't be done and being like, who says? So that drives me a lot. And I think just my desire for definitely the creative industries to feel more fair, more diverse. You know, growing up when I was an assistant, it was like the people who could afford to assist for free for 2 years, like their mum and dad did work at Vogue, or maybe they could afford to live with their mum and dad for like 2 years while they assisted for free. And no shade, but I also know that's not most people's experience. What we're trying to do at Freelance for Freedom is make sure that everyone has, you know, even from my free content, there's tools that I provide there that will help you build a business and be a creative who makes money, even if you're starting from scratch or maybe trying to get your first booking or your 100th booking. Yeah, I'm very motivated by creatives reclaiming the identity of entrepreneur. I think that's really important. And also women in business. Like, I just love seeing women in business. There's something so exciting about that, especially as someone who doesn't want children. And, you know, I've got to an age where I'm really celebrating my life choices now. It feels very, very empowering. Not apologizing for that. I think that feels really important to me. So, and just generally, like, creativity motivates me, travel motivates me, the belief that I have one life and, like, you know, we're here for a good time, not a long time, as Vernon Kay always says. So I want to make the most of it. What advice would you give for complicated coworkers? Okay. So one thing I think that's really important with, like, again, if I use the example, like complicated coworkers, it's like, they have their own thoughts going on and you have your thoughts about them. So like, where can the two things exist? And like, you're never going to be able to control other people. Like, I think that's the biggest thing that our brains hate. It's like, no, if they just did this, I would have a nicer time at work. If they just did that, everything would be easier. But it's like the frustration more than anything comes from trying to control someone else or believe that it could be easier for you if their behavior was different. And I'm not saying that wouldn't be true, but I think letting go of being attached to that is definitely something that can help you have a bit more peace. I also think like boundaries are super important. So even in Freelance for Freedom, one of the big things we teach all our clients is like how to implement boundaries in their business so they can have time off and make money. They can enjoy being with family and be a creative CEO. But I also think boundaries are great. Love a boundary. Will there ever be, and it says, will there ever, in brackets, please be more on full coverage? So me and Lindsay never officially like ended full coverage. We had dinner actually like 2 weeks ago and it was so good to catch up, but we both are working on projects that take a lot of our time right now. So we just kind of put it on hiatus, knowing that there may be the odd cheeky surprise episode here and there. Who knows? We definitely haven't like officially ended it or anything like that. So who knows? Let me see. Okay, so someone said, how did you learn the tech to do YouTube? Google and YouTube. So I remember just being like, where do I put my camera on YouTube? Like things, I mean, I'm recording on my phone right now. So I just want to say as well, for anyone who wants to do YouTube, just start, just play, like be willing to get it wrong. And I think as well, when you're a creative, in a way, you kind of can't get it wrong. That's the beauty of it. YouTube and Google, pretty much. I mean, I definitely had a few friends who were photographers that I was like, hey, where would I put my lights if I'm, you know, wanting it to look this certain way? And that was definitely helpful. But for the most part, it was just figuring it out myself. This was a really good question. Did growing your Amaze biz impact OCD or mental health negatively at all? Really good question. Yes, it did. In that I think I had to make a lot of peace with like my makeup career, especially. Like, I think in a way I almost felt guilty when I realized I wanted to coach full time. But then it was like, but I've done everything I wanted to do. There would always have been like more celebrities or more money in that. But I was like, I've genuinely done like the people that are on my vision board, I did. The opportunities I want to do, I did. And there did get a point where I was like, but I'm not fulfilled. There's something more that I want. And that really was coaching and helping other creatives create freedom in their business and get opportunities and know how to do it. In terms of my OCD, maybe not my OCD so much, but I definitely felt a bit of anxiety. Obviously, like our brains don't like anything new. And there was something equally liberating and terrifying about being like, yeah, I'm going to do this and I'm going to go all in. And my belief is still like, if I never picked up another makeup brush, I'll always be a makeup artist. So that's not going to leave me. But I also know that it's it's so empowering going after things that your gut is just like, we need to be here, we need to try this. So I wouldn't say my OCD so much was impacted. I think naturally when I feel like something's new and if I'm scared, my OCD will kick up a level and be like, right, what can we control? Where can we look to feel safe? I remember I did see a therapist actually before I kind of transitioned into turning, like last year was my first full-time coaching, and it was incredible and I'm so glad I did it. But I definitely think I remember seeing a therapist and being like, am I mad? Like, I remember literally like one of my biggest clients, like contacting me being like, hey, can I book you for like the Jimmy Kimmel show? It was, I think. And I was like, sorry, I'm not doing makeup anymore. Or like, oh, I'm not taking clients right now. And, you know, 16-year-old me was like, wait, we worked so hard to get these clients. And my belief was always like, I could totally do both, but I don't want to, at least not right now. So I think that what felt really liberating is being like, I don't want to do things out of fear or keep doing them because I feel I should. And I'm really glad I did say no to the things that for right now don't serve me. And it just feels really exciting to be exploring. Next question, we have a makeup question. Top 5 lip shades for brides. I always loved Tom Ford. What was it called? Was it Nude Sable? Something like that. That was a really good one. I love, is it Mented Cosmetics? I think it's Mented. They do some really, really great nudie shades for like deeper skin tones that I loved in my kit. I can't remember the name of the one I loved. Was it half baked or something? Or no, I can't remember what it was called, but I know their lipsticks are really, really great. I feel like I love the Charlotte Tilbury ones, like Bitch Perfect, always love a bit of that. Chanel Adrienne, what's that, 3 or 4? But also like, I do love a red for a bride as well. I think like when we think about lip shades for brides, I also think it just goes to what's your personality and what do you love. What do you do when you have wobbles in work, relationships, appearance, confidence, etc.? Love this question. First of all, I validate it and I give myself permission to be like, yeah, I'm a human being with a human brain. Like this stuff's gonna happen, not just once. So I think first of all, I validate it and I give myself some grace to be like, yeah, you're a human, what do you expect? But I think as well, there's different things here. There's like in work, relationships, appearance, confidence. So I think when it comes to like relationships, I talk to friends, to my partner, like communication is obviously key. I think one thing that's helped a lot in the past few years, especially, is really learning how to like meet my own needs. Like if I meet my own needs, everything else is easier. So like, where can I meet my own needs first? That's definitely something that helps me a lot in terms of what to do. When I have wobbles, I'm like, okay, what do I need? Like I will ask myself, like, what do you need? Do you need some time off? Do you need to solve a problem? Is there something that we need to like close a thought loop on? Like I give myself permission to like answer the question, like, what do you need? Again, I get coached, like I work with a phenomenal business coach who has really like helped me hugely in my business and helped me become very clear on that this is the movement I want to get behind and this is the work I want to do. So I get coached. I really believe in coaching. Again, I've had a lot of help with my mental health, which has been huge. So my kind of the short answer is like, I let myself get support. I give myself support in whatever way that looks like. Okay, what pro beauty services do you buy on the reg? Okay, so I was doing Gel X on my nails for a while, really like that. But oh God, my nails are still recovering from that. So press-ons I kind of experimented with for a while and I'm loving those. I'm very low maintenance actually. I feel like now I live in LA, like I will do a pedicure maybe once a month and then I can kind of maintain it myself. I don't do waxing. I'm trying to think like if there is anything I do regularly. Facial I maybe do like once a quarter. More if I'm kind of like, oh, I need a bit of like me time. But yeah, maybe a pedicure, that's probably, and even haircuts I'm really crap at getting consistently. So that, I would love to say I do it like once every 4 months, but maybe twice a year. What's on your fashion wish list? Okay, I went to the Totem store when I was in New York, did go a little bit crazy and I'm not mad at it. It was so much fun because we don't have Totem in LA and they're on Net-a-Porter, I think, and Matches, but I just wanted to go and like see the stuff in real life and I loved everything. So anything from there, I did definitely buy a lot of stuff when I was there. I still feel like when it comes to vintage designer, I go back and forth whether or not I'm a Chanel bag person or not. Like I'm so undecided. I'm kind of like, I don't love new Chanel as much. Like I like some of the shoes of new Chanel, but I love vintage Chanel. So sometimes I do think like the mini square bag from Chanel in the black caviar, which is super hard to find, potentially that. Craziest client stories. Is it too late for those non-disclosure agreements? Craziest client stories, any demanding ones, or high pressure, funny behind the scenes situations? I mean, yes, there have been definitely some difficult clients. There's definitely been some interesting situations, but I also get that like it's their job, like being an actress, you know, doing press, being a singer, doing promo, like a lot of it is part of their job. So I get that they get off a plane, maybe they've been on a flight for like 16 hours and they're cranky. Like, again, I know my boundaries. Yes, there have been some who have been very badly behaved who will remain unnamed, but I'll tell you a funny story. I feel like let's think some funny stories. Some of my favorite memories are definitely working with Chelsea Handler. I love her to bits, and just so many funny moments working with her. So many. It's almost like I can't pick one because they're all funny. I remember as well I've done a lot of like makeups and weird scenarios. So I remember like when I was working with a singer, I think it was Fox's, I remember she was doing a thing for the Guinness Book of Records or something where she had to do like so many destinations in one day. Like it was like who could do the most gigs in the UK in one day. And I remember like we had to do makeup changes, and I remember like going down the M1 in the motorway and having like I had to put eyelashes on her while we were driving on the motorway, the freeway. And I remember her head like being in my lap and literally like cradling her face and being like, I have to like hold your head so still because I don't want to poke your eye out, because I was like putting them in with tweezers and we were going pretty fast in order to get to the next venue. So I remember us both just looking at each other and being like, it's like you're my baby. We're just like, this is so weird, like just having to put eyelashes on someone while the car was moving really fast. And yeah, just lots of things that I think happen in the moment that are just really funny. Working with comedians, I highly recommend. Very good fun. How do you do invisible makeup on models in skincare ads, and how much retouching is involved? Ooh, this is a good question. Again, I think it depends on the brand. So I always think like if you're looking at a brand like maybe Glossier or like Ilia, they're probably not going to do as much retouching as maybe a brand that like a NARS or an Estee Lauder, like, you know, those kind of like more glossy brands. So I think it really depends on the brand. When it comes to like the natural looking skincare makeup, I actually have a video on YouTube. The video, I think it was called Boybe or something like that I did. That is a really good example of kind of like very minimal like campaigny makeup. And again, it depends on like if it is just skincare with no makeup. Really, it's kind of, again, I think a lot of it has to do with the casting as well. Getting a model who has as good skin as possible. Like, I still think it is a skill to be able to do no makeup, because even when they book a model who has supposedly great skin, they could still come on the day and have a cold sore or have an allergic reaction or a breakout or something like that. Again, I think Glossier is great for like no makeup. Oh, Perricone MD. Perricone MD do some great products for like no makeup. And again, just using, you know, even the way I could use lip balm or like styling brow hairs. There's a lot of things you can do as a makeup artist that don't even require using makeup. So sometimes I would use hairspray on eyebrows to make them look perfect. Lots of things like that. Okay, advice when you have 20 ideas but limited time, how to prioritize. So for me, really, I think it comes down to if you're going to list the priorities in order of importance, what makes it to like number one? And then work that way. Because I think our brain will always say everything's a priority, but also like, how are you measuring what is a priority? So is it something that moves the needle in your business? Is it something that you need to do, give yourself more free time? What is the overarching theme that the priorities are working towards, if that makes sense? That's it. And it's quite a long video. I hope you enjoyed it. Get to know me a little bit better. If you have any more questions, put them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer all of those. Again, don't forget to check out Freelance with Freedom and follow me on Harry Makes Up. I love talking about style at the moment. It just feels like that Instagram gets to be a super fun like digital scrapbook of style and beauty things. And yeah, thanks so much for watching and I'll see you soon.